everyone, Kirsten here. So today's video is going to be a little bit random today. For some weird reason, I didn't want to make another update video, but yet for some weird reason, this is sort of an updated video because, I'm just going to be chatting yet again about life and such, just to let you guys know what's really going on into my personal life. Now, I gotta be completely brutally honest here. There are some things I really do love sharing with you guys, but at the same time, there's certain things in my life that I try to keep private. So I try to separate like my work / social media life, even school life, versus like my personal life being private. Well, anyway, without further ado, I am just gonna go ahead and dive right into some of these random updates and a bit of a chatty video on just about life in general. So I'm just gonna get started. Oh, for those of you who are wondering, yes, I finally did get a new chair. In a way, it was kind of like an early Christmas present, like straight after I was done with like my finals and stuff. So in case if you're wondering, yes, this is my new chair. And I will be dealing with this comfy chair for the rest of my life. It's really nice, actually. Okay, anyway, as you may have noticed from like my last update video, I did mention that I was going to be away from school for quite a long while, actually. I think it was like, at least about a month ago since I've last done like any proper videos and stuff. And I know I mentioned in that updated video that I was gonna post like a story time related video, like straight after I was done with like my finals and stuff. But number one, there was just so much stuff I had to get done for my schooling stuff. So unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to actually sit down and edit. Other than that music video I posted last week, which was for my cinema class, actually. Well, also, another reason why I haven't uploaded my storytime video yet is because I also got a little bit busy straight after finals, so I was helping my grandmother bake German cookies. It's our yearly tradition to make these cookies for Christmas. They are such delicious cookies and I enjoy eating them so much every single year. It really does warm up the heart and boost up some really good Christmas spirits for me because I've been used to eating these cookies all my single life. So even if I do become vegan one day, I feel like I would still be eating those cookies no matter what for some weird reason, because they are really, really good. Also, I got to help out my grandmother and my aunt with their shopping a little bit. I just mostly like came along and just kind of hung out with them the whole entire day. We mostly went to the mall and we went to like a few stores in particular. And of course, a third reason being is that I actually plan to remake the video because I feel like parts of it kind of feels off a little bit for some weird reason. So that would be my reason being for not editing or uploading that video yet. So yeah, just a better updated version of that video in Pacific would be up sometime soon. Also, if many of you guys have already known from one of my previous videos, I have been vegetarian for a good 7 months to be exact. So in about a few more months from now, I think sometime in May will be my full year of being vegetarian. So I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on how this lifestyle and how this diet for me has been going in Pacific. And as many of you guys know from one of my previous videos, I have been quite heavy set for a long time. And of course, as you can see from some of these previous thumbnails of when I first uploaded my videos to YouTube and such, I wasn't really overweight, but I did look a bit more heavy set, and I still have a little bit of that chub, a little bit of that weightness, a little bit, but as you can tell from my face, I definitely got a little bit more skinnier around the face area. And the best thing about this lifestyle for me so far is that I can pretty much eat all the delicious vegetarian-based foods as much as I want without worrying about getting way too overweight. Because before I became a vegetarian, I did have the exception of like eating fishes and chicken mostly, or maybe like a greasy ass cheeseburger once in a while. But other than that, I wouldn't necessarily eat any other meats in Pacific. But with the fact that I became a vegetarian, I feel so happy that I became so dedicated to this lifestyle when I did. I feel so much happier. I feel so much more confident, just overall so great about myself. And on top of that, I have lost even more weight. As you may have noticed from one of my other videos, I mentioned that I was like 171, and now I'm down to 165, which is so great, and I'm still continuing to lose weight, which is so awesome. I will probably make a separate video on this later about like my diet routine and stuff. Yeah, so the vegetarian lifestyle has been very great for me actually. And one of these days, I have even considered becoming vegan, but for now, I am just happy being a vegetarian for a while before I move on into the vegan lifestyle. And the funny thing about my cinema class, I'm just gonna talk about my finals for some weird reason. Okay, so during finals week, since my intro to cinema class kind of finished finals about like a week earlier, the only thing we had to do for finals was to watch everybody's film projects that everybody had to do, and mine was definitely included. And to be honest, I think I was the second person last in that video. I was kind of glad that I was one of the last people that actually had a chance to like get to see my film and stuff, because I gotta be honest, I was having a massive heart attack not knowing what people were gonna think of my music video. At first, I wanted to do like a little bit of a documentary, but for some weird reason, instead of doing a documentary, I just decided to do a music video instead. And basically, if you haven't noticed from like the music video already, and in case if you haven't seen it, I'll leave it in the description box down below in case if you haven't even seen it yet. There will definitely be a link down below in case if you're interested in checking that out. Okay, but anyway, so the funny thing is people actually thought it was going to be more of like a comedy related music video, because in the beginning there was like the Dark Angel Productions presents or something like that, and then it says Cover My Eyes, and for some weird reason people were actually laughing at that title in particular, which of course I didn't take any offense to it, because you know, I was actually trying to prove everybody wrong that it's more of a serious video instead of a comedy related music video, you know. Okay, but anyway, so the moment the music video started, like I think it was either in the middle or like towards the end of the music video in itself, I didn't see, but I did get to hear people in the background actually tearing up or crying. I heard a few sniffles in the background, so I assumed there were a few people that were crying. And to be honest with you, I didn't think I would have that type of emotional influence with people about like some of my creative video work. Does that make any sense? And as soon as the music video completely ended, every single one of my classmates from my cinema class actually applauded. Like everybody in the whole room was clapping. I am not even kidding you. So the whole entire time of having a literal heart attack, I didn't think people were gonna like that music video, to be honest. And I am actually so happy and so proud that people actually did like that music video. I did put in a lot of effort, a lot of time into that music video, and believe it or not, there was a lot of like locations I had to film. And because of those locations that I had to film alone, it did take up a total of like at least about a month or maybe like a few weeks of having to deal with the locations that I had to film. So like one, I actually had to go down to like, I think Monterey, just to film like the waves and such. And then I had to film like all the way down to Big Sur near the river end, where I had to like do like the film for like that river in particular. And another where I actually had to film like an actual graveyard. And to be honest with you guys, I know a lot of people think it's very depressing to actually visit a graveyard in particular. And as morbid and as creepy as this sounds, being able to visit a graveyard in particular, I actually do think it is a very peaceful place to just relax and just admire the beautiful sceneries. Again, I know this sounds very morbid, but for some weird reason, there's just something about graveyards I just find peaceful. And there was another location in particular where I was actually filming a beautiful cliff or like a beautiful valley type of scenery in the background. A part of my music video, of course. I think it was like somewhere around Watsonville. So yes, because of the locations in particular, it did take up a lot of my time. My goodness, I am so glad that finals in particular is pretty much over. With the fact that I had to deal with astronomy and statistics this year, both of those classes in particular were very hard classes to deal with. And regardless if I end up passing one or just both of those classes in particular, I'm just glad that it's completely done and out of the way. Now, you see, with astronomy, I didn't have too much of a hard time with. The only issue I had with astronomy is dealing with the, I think, just the quizzes or like the exams in particular. But then with statistics, on the other hand, I was having a really hard time with, because it's the type of math that I wasn't particularly used to doing. Like, I knew I was pretty good with dealing with stuff like algebra, algebra 1, pre-algebra, and Pacific. Any type of algebra math problem I didn't mind dealing with, because it's not quite as complicated as most people think it is. But then anything beyond like the algebra problems, I just can't quite comprehend with for some weird reason. And statistics was by far the hardest math class I've ever dealt with in my whole entire life. So you could say out of all of the classes I had to deal with during like my college years, definitely was a bit of a struggle. I am not gonna lie. I'm glad that that class in particular is over with. But to be honest with you, I don't have a single clue if I am going to end up passing that class 100% completely or not. Because the last time I heard about my grade, it wasn't very pleasing for me. So I had to get it up to at least about a C or like a C plus, maybe a B if I'm lucky. I'm still crossing my fingers and hoping that I'm able to pass that class okay, because I gotta be honest, I do not want to deal with that math problem in particular next semester, because it was quite a huge struggle. I am not gonna lie. And speaking of next year, or next semester in Pacific. I am basically pretty much completely done with all of my general education requirements. The only class I needed to complete in order to get my AA degree was to take a final art class that has to deal with developing a portfolio in order to go out into the workforce and try to get accepted into the jobs of field that you pretty much graduated from. So during the whole semester that I was dealing with cinema, astronomy, and statistics, I had to meet up with a counselor to actually take that class in Pacific, and unfortunately it wasn't being offered during the spring semester, and it was only available during like the winter semester. So I felt like I was completely shit out of luck in that department. So the only option I had with actually trying to get into that class was to either have somebody sign a waiver or to sign up for an independent study. I wasn't sure in Pacific of what to do in that type of situation. So what happened was I had to get like these ladies in Pacific to be able to sign these documents of whether I can be able to graduate without that class in Pacific, or to just wait until like somewhere around next fall to actually take that class, which I gotta be honest, it would have been a complete waste of my time just to wait for next year to take that class in Pacific, because that portfolio class could only be offered during the winter semester, and I felt like I should have taken it as an independent study this semester, but unfortunately I wanted to get astronomy and statistics out of the way before I could be able to take that class for some weird reason. But I had to revisit my ceramics teacher and my design teacher to have them fill out this paper in particular. And both of these ladies that I took in particular, I was actually very chill with. So it was actually very good to revisit and see them again, because they were just very awesome teachers that I basically took during the whole time I took their classes last year. Well, anyway, so my design teacher actually got to sign a waiver instead of having to sign up for an independent study, which I was actually really happy about, because I did not think that she would be able to sign a waiver. And basically her whole comment was basically that she has seen my portfolio work in particular to the point where I don't necessarily have to take that class in Pacific. And my voice is starting to sound cracky for some weird reason. So I also had to like get other people to sign and approve like this paper in Pacific. And the best thing of it all is the fact that I actually did have it get approved. So I don't have to worry about taking that class in Pacific for next semester. So at this point, I'm pretty much finished with all of my education, and I am able to graduate in the spring semester because I finished all of my requirements. Now, unfortunately, even though I do have everything completed, I unfortunately had to wait until the spring semester to graduate because they weren't offering any graduation petitions for the winter semester. So I just had to pretty much go with the flow. So yeah, I'm very happy and I'm very excited. I get to really graduate on time. And at this point next semester, I am just going to be taking like a theater appreciation class. And basically what that is, and it kind of introduces you like the aspects of dealing with being a producer and a director, which of course, that was basically the reason why I wanted to transfer over into San Jose State University, was because at that time I was really interested in taking like directing class and such. So yeah, at this point I'm not thinking of it as like a class in Pacific. I am mostly thinking of it as like an internship type of class for some weird reason. So I am really happy that I get to take that next semester. Now, don't get me wrong, there's parts of me that still wants to become a director in Pacific, but at the same time, I also kind of completely changed my mind about transferring over into San Jose State, which you guys pretty much know if you have seen one of my previous updated videos. I don't know, at this point, I just feel like I've been in school for so long that it's to a point where I'm just completely over it. So I think as soon as I graduate from a community college that I am currently attending, I'm just gonna graduate, search for a job, and just move on with my life already. There are plenty of backup plans that I tend to go for when I do get into the job of field that I wanted to participate in. And of course, there's a lot of options ahead of me. So whatever creative type of job that I end up applying for, I will pretty much be completely happy with. Whether it would be taking a design type of work, or whether it would just be focusing on the art department, whether it would be the creative writing aspects, whether it would be making these YouTube videos in Pacific, whether or not I get accepted into the filming industry where I get to work with film and stuff, whether I end up pole dancing, just basically whatever case scenario. I'm sure everything will definitely work out the way I am hoping it would be, because the last thing I really want is to work in a job where I would just basically feel completely miserable for the rest of my life. That is basically the last thing that I want to happen, is to be in a job where I'm just completely miserable about life and stuff. That's the only thing I get worried about at times, but hey, shit happens, right? But I do know in my heart everything is gonna work out the way things are supposed to work out. So I just thought I would kind of point that out and let you guys know about like my future plans and such. I am still in the process of trying to also set up my office from the other room. And I know I mentioned about this before, but believe it or not, it's still in the process of works. Like, there's so much stuff that needs to be done into that room in Pacific that it is absolutely crazy. The computer I have in the background, along with like my little office area right there, all of that is going to be transferred into my office. There's also other stuff in my room that I wanted to transfer in there in Pacific, so I'm really excited to get that all set up. I will definitely film a little tour of my little office when the time is right and once everything feels exactly perfect, if things go as planned. Also, quick thing I really wanted to talk about is well, two things in Pacific to be exact. I do have more plans to better improve like my videos for YouTube and stuff. So by next year things ought to be very, very interesting. Speaking of that, my Sinful Sundays episodes should be up sometime after New Year's, because I've just figured straight after New Year's is over, that's when I'll be able to upload my Sinful Sundays videos again. So that will be happening sometime soon, which I'm very happy about, because for now I just wanted to focus on uploading these vlogs or these videos in particular before I could start Sinful Sundays again. So yeah, that's my basic plan for this whole YouTube thing. And another thing I really finally wanted to point out is, this was really random that it suddenly decided to happen, but basically, if you guys seen 2 of my previous videos on this subject, you guys probably know that I pretty much broke up with somebody I was involved with for quite a long time, actually, almost 2 years to be exact. And it was just so random that I got to hear from my ex again. And basically, it was like around the time I was studying for my finals in Pacific, and I actually got to hear from my ex after not hearing from him for like not 1 week, not a month or a few months, but I haven't heard from my ex in at least 6 months. So that is almost half of a year wasted that I haven't even heard from him in a long time. I am going to be completely honest in this department. I did not think I was going to hear from him again, because the way things went down between me and Jason, I just didn't think I was going to hear from him again, because things didn't really quite end on like really bad terms. It kind of ended on like more of like a mutual terms of agreement. So like, again, we did not fight, we did not cheat, there was no abuse or anything like that. It was just more of like a mutual aspect, which was very, very rare considering that the previous exes that I've dealt with didn't end quite so well. He decided to email me out of the blue, and it was just so random. And I gotta be honest, at first I was very pissed because I didn't hear from him in quite a long time, and that he suddenly decided to reach out to me saying that he wanted to get back together with me. I was pretty upset and pretty angry because of that, because after not being able to hear from him for a while, I was very mad for that reason. Because I had a lot of mixed feelings about him coming back, and at the same time, I was actually very glad to hear from him again. I did kind of argue with him once when he came around to talk to me again, because I was really pissed off in the beginning. I really was. And I had to scoot up my chair a little bit closer to the camera because I just feel like it's more comfortable this way. Okay, but anyway, yeah, going back to what I've said previously about my ex, again, it was very random. I didn't think I was going to hear from him for a very long time. So we finally got to talk to each other again, which is very nice considering the fact that, you know, we decided to reunite and kind of talk to each other again. But at the same time, I didn't give him an honest answer about whether I did wanted to get back together with him or not. And I still don't have an answer, to be honest. I haven't accepted his offer, but at the same time, I haven't rejected his offer. I am going to leave this on a positive note and say that if things turn out to be a lot more chill, a lot more better, a lot more relaxed, then I think I might consider, you know, getting back together with him if things work out the way things are planned. And I still don't know what I want, to be honest, but I'm just kind of letting things go with the flow and see where this kind of ends up. And I'm sure things will work out in the end. I honestly believe that. Things are gonna work out pretty much okay in the end, because I felt happy that he came around and talked to me. And when the time is right, I will give him an honest answer on whether we should continue to be friends or to completely get back together. For now, I'm just really happy being where I'm at, and I'll keep you guys updated and see what happens from there. So anyway, I'm not sure what else to talk about. I just feel like making a random video talking about like a whole bunch of stuff that's just been on my mind lately. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video altogether. So if you did, just be sure to sucker punch that like button down below. Comment down below as well. What are your plans for the holidays this year? And of course, if you haven't already, please do dedicate the time and effort to subscribe to my lovely channel. to become a part of my army of darkness, and you will be updated with a brand new video every single Friday. So that is pretty much it. I hope you guys also have a wonderful holiday, and I hope you guys also have a very lovely Christmas, because I know that Christmas is coming up relatively soon by the time I upload this video in Pacific. So anyway, with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching and sticking to the end of this video. You guys are awesome for doing that. So stay completely dark and so fucking brutal and awesome, my friends. So don't forget to stick up your devil horns for me like I'm doing right now. So take care. Bye for now.